All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome on, Sassy. Welcome on, Tamara. Roel, greetings to you, sir. Um, let me start real quick by welcoming everybody. Thank you for joining us here on Saturday morning. Today's date is April 10th, 2021. Shout out to my mom, whose birthday is today. And she's not on right now, but happy birthday to her. So the topic for today is increasing property value via concierge services. And before I go into more of that, the thing that I will say is that the name of my company is Redeem Investments. We host these monthly meetings called MAGs, which is Monthly Accountability Group Session, really as a way for allowing people to know and learn about what it is that we're doing as a company. We are primarily in the commercial real estate space, but also are doing other things. And before I go into those things, let me first say that I'm not an attorney, I'm not a licensed investment advisor or an accountant. The information we're sharing today is strictly for educational purposes only. And again, just as a means for us to be able to share what it is that we're doing as we're going forth on our journey. As I mentioned, Redeem Investments really is composed of three different segments. The first is Redeem Realty Solutions, which is the residential real estate investing side of the house. We also have Redeem Commercial Real Estate, which is where we do our apartment investing. And then lastly, we have Redeem Renewable Energy, which I'll talk about here in a moment, which focuses on now providing funds for folks to invest in for renewable energy projects, which is something that's exciting that should be coming out here pretty soon. And within the commercial real estate segment that I mentioned earlier, the name of the game really there is to increase your net operating income. And so part of the reason why Roel has joined us today is because he's going to talk about one of those ways that we can do that, but I'll get into that more in a moment. The way that we're proceeding to move forward with commercial real estate as well as the renewable energy funds are building out these fund structures that allow people to invest. And so we can accumulate capital ahead of finding projects and then be able to have that capital available to deploy, knowing that the types of criteria, the returns that we're targeting, the types of investments we're pursuing are in line with what the fund mandate requires. And so it's just a way for us to become more competitive within a competitive landscape and be able to move quickly when we find deals that really work well for us. The last piece that I'll say is that, there's been a lot of interest from various people about what we're doing. And so we've created a mastermind that allows people to engage with us that want to learn to do what we're doing, to learn all the different facets of the business, to receive partnership opportunities with both individual deals that we're pursuing, these funds that I mentioned, gain resources, skills, knowledge, be involved with meetings like this and different events that we have coming up that you'll see that we've been hosting and that we have coming up. And so that's really what the mastermind, the genesis of that is about. But I'll mention a little bit more about it for those that might be interested who have not joined us previously for calls where I've talked about this. Ultimately, our program is designed to be a JV partnership program. And what that means is that for those, again, who are aspiring to become general partners or sponsors of investment deals, it's an opportunity to partner with us, to be a member of the GP, and to really see kind of behind the curtains what all happens with these types of funds, investments, and other things. It provides you access to resources, training, meetings, and events, like I mentioned. There is a limit to the number of people that we do have in the group. and just to give you a flavor for the types of folks who are in the group, I myself am a West Point graduate. We have 6 other West Point graduates that are part of the group. We do have a Naval Academy graduate who we often make fun of, and he makes fun of us, which is fun. There are apartment syndicators in the group, single family home investors, those that are in the rental space. There's an orthopedic surgeon, a retired Air Force NCO, data scientists, compliance officer. These are just the different types of folks and the different caliber of individuals that are part of our group. For those interested in participating in that, go to our website. You can also send an email at invest@Redeem Investments. And if those who are interested in the mastermind, again, go to our website and click on the mastermind link. It is not for everybody. I'll say that up front. For those who simply want to be a limited partner, we have opportunities for that. And so, don't necessarily need to engage with us from the mastermind perspective. If you simply want to be limited partner with us, there's opportunities for that. And just to give you a sense for some of the different events that we have going on and have had, starting earlier this year, you can see what some of these things have been. This is where we're at today with Mr. Roel Patterson talking about concierge services. Next month, we'll have a lady named Haley Gant from Quest Trust Company talking about opportunities to invest with your self-directed retirement account. In June, we'll have our next meetup will be a fishing trip out of Galveston. It'll be fun. And then in July, we'll have our annual retreat actually taking place in Cancun. And so very excited about that. And then in August, we'll have a gentleman come on to talk about cost segregation, how that is beneficial for us, especially when we're talking about apartment acquisitions and the tax benefits that are available to real estate investors there. So that's very exciting. And that's one of the most, one of the most appealing parts of real estate investing, quite honestly. So I'll just go through this real quick. I often talk about the wealth formula, not that I've acquired a mass amount of wealth myself, but simply understanding that in order to attain wealth, you first, at the very base of things, need to know how to make money. Secondly, need to know how to keep money, and then thirdly, how to multiply money. With regards to why Mr. Patterson here has joined us today, is really talking about that first pyramid, where at least within the apartments that we're acquiring, the more money that can be made, the better it is for the value of that property. So if there are different ways that we can find that helps to add income to the property, it helps to further increase that. We'll even run through a calculation of what that could mean, depending on a case study or some assumptions around different sources of income as it relates to that. The bottom line up front, as we like to say when I was in the Army, is that commercial multifamily apartments is where it's at. There's a lot of reasons for that, which include these things that I've mentioned here: cash flow, tax advantages, passive and residual income. Don't pay any attention to that Quest Trust in the middle there. It's a typo. But really, the forced appreciation piece is the part that I want to concentrate on here. Is oftentimes we think about forced appreciation primarily in terms of renovating interior units or renovations to the exterior of the property, when really all we're trying to do is find various methods of increasing the net operating income. And that could come by way of increasing the additional income component of revenue. What do I mean by that? Finding different methods of adding income that may not even require an infusion of capital. For example, taking a portion of the parking lot and converting it to a preferred parking program, identifying different parking spaces that can be reserved by tenants, providing valet trash, which is simply your maintenance guy maybe going around and picking up trash that tenants place outside of their door, to provide them with the convenience of having that done, as opposed to walking out to the garbage area and putting their trash there. And then in the case that we're talking about today, really adding ancillary services, concierge services, whatever name you want to put to it, adding those types of services, whether they be telecom, identity theft protection, or anything else. There are different things, different services that are available that we as an apartment owner or a realtor even can provide as an added service to the client or the tenant that can help them to increase income for themselves and do it on a residual basis. So let me get through these other things here, and then now take the opportunity to introduce Mr. Roel Patterson. He's a regional director with ACN. He'll explain more about his role, the company that he works with, how it is that he's partnered with us to be able to help us deliver these services to our tenants, and ultimately how, if anyone is interested in doing the same thing in their own, single family rentals, apartments, or clients that they serve in any way, that they can participate in that as well. So with that, let me turn it over to Mr. Roel Patterson. Let me stop sharing my screen, and then I will make you the presenter here, Roel.
Hey, thank you so much, Christian. First of all, I just want to appreciate you for giving me the chance to be on this platform with your team, with your network, and just to share the value of what we're doing in the concierge services model, and how that can really boost individuals' income as it relates to their property value. I believe you have a great program going. I was looking at some of the things that you were talking about here, and I'm excited about what you're doing already with your main program. But guys, first of all, good morning. I'm calling in from California. My name is Roel Patterson. As Christian said, I'm a regional director with ACN. I've been with them now for 6 years. And prior to getting involved with that company, I was in the IT industry. I have a master's in computer science, and I did that for 13 years, until I was about 33. Found myself in a financial bind where I had $47 in my bank account, a 2-year-old son to take care of, and I had to move back in with my parents. And when certain life changes happen to you, it pushes you out of your comfort zone to find other ways of survival. So the idea of building my own business came to me through a friend, and I got excited about it. It brought back some hope to me. So with that hope, I literally start building my own business from home. And for the past 6 years, we have grown a very successful business. We currently have a business now, my wife and I, in 8 different countries, and we service thousands and thousands of customers that we're very excited about. But the reason I'm here today is to share with you the value of what we're doing and how this can really set you apart in the real estate space from everybody else who's in real estate. Now, I'm not here to convince you that real estate is a great place to do, because we already know that, right? Real estate is really a gold mine for opportunities. Now, what I'm here to share with you is that in such a highly competitive space, how are you going to separate yourself from everybody else? Because, if we're all doing the same thing, it makes the competition even that much more. But if we find a way to to create an edge over everybody else in the space, then that is definitely going to be very rewarding for you, for your organization, for your team, for your brokerage, whatever it is that you do in real estate. So my job is just to share with you the model that Christian and I have been working with through his Redeem Investments properties, and just to share enough information with you to see if this is something, if this is a route that you would love to take with us. And if it is, great. If it is not, at least you leave this call here today well informed about another way to really create that edge over every other competitor. Now, I'm going to share my screen here. Can you see my screen, Christian?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, perfect. All right. So, so today we're going to be talking about how to increase property value using the concierge services approach, right? And one thing I like about this is that, as I said before, it is really how to create that edge, to separate yourself from everybody else. So there's this way that a lot of realtors who have caught on to this information have been utilizing to really dominate the marketplace. Now, real estate is more than just a place where you do sales. Real estate is more a place where you create value. Real estate is a place where you serve people. And if you find a way to serve more without having to use up way more of your time or to expend more money out of your pocket, that is really going to be a win for you. That is going to be a win for the people you're serving, because they're getting more service for what for the money they're spending. So how do we do this? We partner with a company called ACN. So who is ACN? ACN is a global conglomerate. We are now in 27 countries around the world. We got started in 1993, so 28 years in business. We're now operating on 5 continents. Over the past 5 years, we did over $4 billion. Millions of satisfied customers that we have serviced already. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We have been featured in Inc. magazine as one of the most iconic companies of our time. We just got an award from Inc. magazine as well, called a Private Titan, which lists us among the top 1,000 companies in North America. We're a member of the Direct Sellers Association, and we have been awarded so many times in so many different aspects. But when we talk about this company, I wanted to also understand that ACN for the past 20 years have been identified as the world's largest direct seller of telecom, energy, and essential services. And this is where it comes into play with real estate. My dad is also in the real estate space. So this is how he really got to set himself apart as well. So being in essential services, what are we talking about? We're talking about the services that you and your clients that you're already servicing are going to use, must use, they cannot live without, and they cannot do without paying, right? Now, here's the services we're talking about. We're talking about phone services, wireless, high-speed internet, television services, energy, home security, identity theft, and I can go on and on. We have a plethora of services that we offer. But can we all agree that based on what you're seeing right now, everybody that we're working with in real estate, they have to use one or more of these services, right? So it's not just the services, but also the partners that we have. And we're partnered with some of the biggest names like Catron, we're partnered with AT&T, Sprint, Verizon. We're partnered with also Dish and DirecTV, Vivint, Smart Home, just to name a few of the partners that we have. And that's just here in the US, but on a global scale in 27 countries that we do business, we partner with other companies such as TELUS International, Vodafone, Virgin Media, a lot of these big billion-dollar business companies that are out there. They choose us to partner with us because we help to bring their services to the marketplace. But more importantly, we actually help to serve the customers at price points that they cannot get anywhere else. Now, identity theft is one of our newest space that we just got involved with, which is a big deal. And you're in real estate, and a lot of people might be thinking, oh, I'm in real estate, what do I have to do with identity theft? So here's the thing. Can we all agree that when somebody's going out to buy property, if anything got shifted in their identity, if anything, there was a data breach or some form of cyber crime, that can affect that purchase, meaning somebody could steal your identity and run up debt on your credit, and now you can't go forward to purchase your house, or your client can't go forward to completing their purchase, or some other thing is there as a lien against them. So if you can serve your clients and say, hey, listen, you need to get your identity protected, that can actually be an added value to them, right? So they're seeing you as well, not only as their realtor, not only as their investor, but they're also seeing you from the standpoint of, you know what, you're bringing added value to them that they would have to go out and get anyway. As a matter of fact, they're putting this into law that within the next 5 to 10 years, they're expecting that identity theft protection is going to be mandatory. So everybody's going to have this as just as commonplace as car insurance and home insurance. Now, 85% of Americans are not yet protected. So it's a wide market space out there. And the good thing about this concierge services model, as you will see in a minute or two, is the fact that wherever you are, whichever marketplace you are, I'm in California, you may be in Texas, I know Kristen is in Texas, wherever you are, you don't have to just serve the area that you can do real estate. Like my dad is licensed to do real estate in New York. However, he's still servicing clients in other states, even though he's not licensed as a realtor in those states. Because with the concierge services model, you're just providing a platform for people to get the service that they would have to get anyway. Plus, most realtors, what they do is that once they're at the closing table, they always hand their client a brochure or a piece of document that encourages them to, hey, listen, you know what, here are the places you need to call to get your services up and connected. Now, that is giving away a lot of money, where now, using this platform, you can actually direct some of that funds into your property value or into your accounts. Now, we also believe in charitable work, so we partner with Food Bank of America through a project called Project Feeding Kids, where we are committed to feeding 17 million starving kids here in North America. Now, how this works is that every customer that we refer to any of the services that I mentioned before, ACN feeds a starving child. And because those customers have to pay a bill every month for the service, every month they pay their bill, another child is fed. So over the past 3 years, we've fed over 5 million kids. And we're excited about that, but we have 17 million as our target to really capitalize on. And that is going to happen because of people like us on the call here today. Now, our business model, very simple. The reason these companies actually partner with ACN is for more reasons than one. Number one, though, is that we help to bring their advertising costs down. Because, these companies, Sprint, Verizon, these companies are spending millions of dollars per year and sometimes per month in advertising, right? But when they go through us, we use a word of mouth referral-based system. So it saves them money on advertising costs. Now, because money is saved on advertising costs, what that does is it actually drives down the price for the customers. So the companies win, the customers win, and you win, because some of that advertising money that they will spend, they now pass it on to you as income. Now, how is it that you get paid? So this is how you get paid. And when I say you, I want you to think about you as the individual, if you're doing this as a single realtor, or I want you to think about this as you as your corporation, whether you're property management, whether you're in, you have a corporation for your real estate, or whatever it is. So that's what that you means, right? So this is how you get paid, four different ways. The first way, you can make money through bonuses. So as you get these services enlisted for your clients, now the company is going to pay you bonuses. So let us say, for instance, I purchased a home from you, right? And you got me to do my gas, my electricity, my TV, my internet. You got me to do my own security. So let's just say that's 5 services, right? So I'm one person, but I became 5 customers to you, because the service is the customer, not the person, right? So those 5 services trigger a bonus of $200. Here's where it gets interesting, though. Every other 3 service that you get within a calendar month, it triggers another $200 bonus, right, for you. Now, those customers, that is unlimited, by the way. So that $200 bonus that it triggers is unlimited, because you can get as many free services as possible for a calendar month, and that will keep triggering those bonuses, right? We have literally people who made thousands of dollars in their first month, because they're in property management. They already have the units under their control. They just, switch those services over through their platform, and that generates an income for their property. Now, the second way you get paid, this is really what I call the freedom money, because this is residual income. You do the work one time, you get paid over and over. And ACN said, you know what, of all those customers that you already made the bonus from, they're also going to pay a bill every month. Every month when they pay their bills, you'll make anywhere from 3 to 20%. Well, let us talk about 20%. How do you get there? 20% is about 100 accounts. We're going to be doing more than 100 units or more than 100 transactions anyway. Why not capitalize on that? So that 20% now fuels your business, meaning that you're now increasing the value of your property. So let us say you have property management, and you can now generate that 20% residual income. That comes in as added value for your property, because not only is it bringing in the rental income from your tenants, but it's also bringing in this additional 20% on all the bills that are being paid. Now, the third and fourth way, this is really big, guys. I don't have to convince you that distribution is where success really is. I was looking at what Christian was talking about here earlier, and he was talking about that last step about multiplying money. So you make money, you learn how to keep money, and then you learn how to multiply. Multiplying money means distribution. That's what it really means, right? So how does ACN help you with this? So we can always look at examples about distribution, and I know everybody on the call here today understands it. McDonald's is not the greatest, doesn't have the best burgers. Why are they so successful? Because they have 36,000 stores around the world, right? Uber does not have the cleanest cars. Why are they so successful? Because there's a car every step of the way, that every time you step, you see an Uber, right? So they have all this distribution channel. Now, ACN gives you the opportunity to create distribution for yourself. Now, you don't have to create distribution. You could be a solo person with the business, but if you choose to, you could build distribution. And how does this work? Let us say you introduce this to other realtors or other property managers or other people in investments, or even if you just want to introduce this to the regular Joe like myself. I'm not in real estate. You could introduce it to a regular person just like me, who's going to want to build my own home-based business, part-time, spare time around my schedule, right? Now, here's what that means. By just introducing the concept to other realtors, other property managers, other investors, whoever it is that you think this would work very well for, when they decide to do the business, they will be a part of your team. So it's just like with real estate, where you have a broker and you have other realtors for being a part of that brokerage team, right? So they will be a part of your team. And once they get their first 5 customers, as we spoke about before, the 5 services, that is going to trigger a bonus to them. But also, you make an overriding customer bonus of anywhere from $50 to $300, depending on your position level at the time in the business. That is pretty great. But what is even better is the overriding residual that you're going to make. So just imagine you introduced me to this business, right? And I went out and I got 10 customers. So I got paid on my 10 customers. You made a $50 bonus because that's the bonus they pay because you introduced me to the business. But more importantly, when my 10 customers pay their monthly bills every single month, you will also pick up a 4% residual income on those customers for the life of the customers. So for instance, I got started 6 years ago. I acquired a handful of customers 6 years ago, never spoke with them again, but every month for the past 6 years, they've been paying their bills. For that work I did one time, I've already been paid over 70 times, right? But I also introduced this to a friend of mine who was in real estate. Within my first 2 months in the business, she went out and she acquired 170 customers in her first 3 months in the business. But after that, I was now picking up a 4% residual on those 170 customers. And listen, that is just on one person's customers. Imagine if you have a distribution channel that have 10 individuals or 100,000. You know, we have hundreds of people in our distribution channel right now in 8 different countries around the world. So this can become very substantial when it comes to the amount of money and cash flow that can be created for your business. Also, for both clients and for you, the person, if you choose to go this route, there are ways to get free services with cell phone service, landline and internet, gas and electricity, and even identity theft. You can get free services to that. There are some conditions applied. We cover those in a training that we do in depth. But just know that, and if this is something you choose to do, we can talk about it afterwards. So how do you participate if this is something that interests you, or how do you get to learn more about how this can work hand in hand with what you're already doing? There are 2 ways pretty much to participate. Number 1 and number 2, right? If you're number 2, it means that, you know what, I rather to just serve my customers or my clients. How does that work? You could speak with somebody like Christian, and he has redeemed investments. They already are a part of the Concierge Services model. So you could actually refer your clients to redeem services, and they will serve them with all of these services, right? And that will give them great pricing for the service that they must get anyway. And then you could participate like that. Or if you're like us and you want to use it as a vehicle to generate income, then you're a number 1. You want to have your own platform, your own website that you can redirect people to so that they can get their services through your website. And if you set up your website under your business or even individually, that will now be an income source coming in for you through that residual income. Now, grab your calculator for a minute if you have a chance. I just want to do a quick example with you. And this is just for, this is an hypothetical example, just for demonstration purposes only. So just imagine, let's just say the average household spends $300 per month on bills. So we already know it's way more than that. But let's just say the average household for gas, electricity, TV, internet, all of these services, it adds up for about $300, right? And let us say over the next 12 to 24 months, you are planning to do about 100 transactions, right? If we look at what that monthly billing volume would, sorry, that should be $3,000. I'm typo there as well for me. If you look at that monthly billing volume, that is going to be $3,000, $3,000. But when you multiply it by the 100, that's going to be $30,000. So think about this. Think about this for a minute. So if you have $30,000 in billing volume coming in, and you're picking up 20% off that, that is $6,000 per month in residual income flowing through your business, right? Or $72,000 for the year. Imagine, as a realtor, as an investor, what could an additional $72,000 in passive income do for your business every single year? Could that be some form of reinvestment? Could that actually help to multiply your income more, meaning that you can now buy more properties, you could do more investments with that. So that is why we're so excited about this. And I believe that if anybody that decides to go this route. We have an in-depth training every single week. We have quite a few events coming up this week. If you want to learn more, we can give you the information for that. Now, let us recap real quick. So what do you get? You get to work with a well-established company for 27 years now. You're going to get to earn income from some of the biggest industries there. You have a simple online concierge services model that you can redirect your clients and to serve them so that they can shop around for the best deals in your state. You can pick up a 20% personal residual income, and if you choose to build a team, you could pick up an additional 4% on what your team does. You can get free services with cell phone, gas, electricity, internet, and identity theft. And you get the chance to give back and feed starving kids here in North America. So guys, if you like what you see, here's my contact information. My name is Roel Patterson. My cell phone number is 347-489-9487. And again, my email is right there. You could take a screenshot of this, or at the end of this, Christian or myself can get the information to you as well. So I hope I was able to serve you guys well. Thank you so much for giving me a listening ear. And I turn the call back over to Christian.
Thank you, Roel. That's very helpful. I think one of the things that I talk a lot about, and as I mentioned before, is very important when you're talking about taking a piece of property, especially for us in commercial real estate, and wanting to increase the value of that property. It's very important that we take actions to increase the revenue and decrease the expenses. In this case, we're talking about increasing the revenue and really by way of additional income. We could also talk about how, the property itself, if it were to convert to utilizing some of these services, whether it be energy and telecom services, could be a way of reducing expenses as well. That's another thing. But just as an illustration, that $72,000 that you mentioned on an annual basis, if that was the amount of incremental income that a 100-unit apartment complex had, for example, and we divided that by a 6% cap rate, which is sort of the going rate in most markets, that would be equivalent to $1.2 million of additional value, which is huge. And so that's just an example. And so hopefully it's apparent why I thought it was important to have Roel come and join us and talk about this opportunity for any property owners that might be seeking to do the same thing and increase their overall value for those properties. Roel, any other thoughts or questions that you might have of me that we can share with the folks who are joining here before we seek to close down here?
I'm sorry, you go ahead just now. Could you just say it again?
Yeah, I was just asking if there was any other thoughts that you wanted to share or any comments, any questions for me before we look to wind down.
Okay, yeah, sure. So the first thought that I would say, this is absolutely, as Christian said before, this is based completely on you. If you decide to go this route, just know that you have a lot of support. We have a very rounded system. Everything is well organized, and you will be well taken care of. We have a support system second to none when it comes to helping you to leverage this for your business. As I said, you could do it through personal, or you could do it if you choose to create leverage from building distribution. But one of the things I want to ask you personally, Christian, and I know you spoke about how that $72,000 could be $1.2 million property value increase, and what is that as like in the real estate? So if you have that, if that becomes your property value increase, what could the average person in real estate do with that? What does that represent?
So, I mean, there's a couple of things. So we have a strategy that we have with our business called the BRRRR strategy, which is buy, renovate, rent, refinance, rinse and repeat. And what that implies is that if we can increase the value significantly enough, we can refinance the property. Well, if part of the process of increasing the value includes adding additional income, then that simply means that there's a higher value that we can refinance at and get more proceeds back to our investors. The second piece is, for properties that are smaller, and right now we've set a bar at less than 50 units, for example. If we find a property that we renovate for less than that has less than 50 units, we're typically just going to fix and flip that. Basically meaning that we'll buy it, we'll do the renovations, and then within a 2-year time frame, we'll look to try to sell that property. Well, again, the value of these properties in the commercial space is based on the amount of income it produces, not necessarily the comparable properties around that area. And so if we can add additional income to a property and increase its value, then the next owner or the next buyer for that property should recognize that this property is producing this amount of income, which does include ancillary or additional income from these services that we've now added. And so that then increases the value of the property so that the next buyer would be willing to pay a higher price for it. Because again, that's basically residual income that's being produced. So those are typically two benefits then that property owner can gain from being able to implement something like this.
Got it. And one last thing that I want to share with our viewers here today is, and this got me very excited, and I'm not even in that space, but I was excited first for my dad until it started working for me. And then I got excited for myself because one of the things that I want to share with the viewers is think about in real estate. Real estate, as I said before, is one of the best ways to invest right now, right? But imagine most people, even from investor side or even from the realtor side, from the seller side, broker side, that takes certain license to operate in a certain space and domain. This now broadens your horizon, right? So for instance, you're a realtor, you have a property and an investment property, but let us say another realtor, even in the UK, right? That could benefit from this. If you introduce that realtor caught onto this concept and they start to build their business using the concierge services model in the UK. They went out and got 1,000 customers in the UK on these services. You in Texas or wherever you are viewing from right now, your property will still be generating that income, that 4% from those 1,000 customers in the UK. So you've broadened your domain where yes, you're only limited to do real estate in this state, but you can be generating income from other places around, from the 27 countries we do business. So I just wanted to leave that out there in the air and turn the call back to you, Christian. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Roel. And I think I should probably put a disclaimer out there too, is that, obviously, when you strip back the curtains here, Roel works for like many other companies that are available, Arbonne and some of these other things that are multi-level marketing. But at the end of the day, it's a distributed model for energy services and some of these other services that you mentioned. I'm in no way receiving any kind of compensation at all for having him on here. This is simply a way for us as a company with Redeem Investments to share with people who are interested in following what we're doing and tracking our journey to know some of the ways that we're seeking to add value to our properties. And so that was the purpose of having Roel join us today. And so with that, let me look to try to close down a little bit early here today. Thank you all for those that were able to join us and for those that end up listening to this afterwards. We certainly appreciate your time and attention. If you have any questions, as you know, contact us, info@Redeem Investments, or contact me directly via our website. And so with that, we'll go ahead and look to close. Thank you, Mr. Patterson, for joining us again. And everybody have a great and blessed weekend here. God bless.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, Christian. Thank you.
All right. Bye now.